Alright, fuckers, welcome back to Practicing Fundamentals Artwod Roadmap, right? Artwod Beginner Roadmap, Fundamentals of Form, Spatial Reasoning, blah, blah, blah. Right, we're doing the grind node, multiple around these boxes. I really did not want to draw today, and yet here I am, which is good. So if I'm here, therefore you can also be here, alongside me, on my lap, drawing in my stead. So let's get to it. I'm going to try my best to visualize some sort of multiple rounded shape, and then we're going to yabba dabba doo. Also, I'm taking a huge risk because my phone's at 38% battery and I'm recording. My brightness is super low, so I'm hoping that'll fucking save it. Otherwise, who knows if it'll last an hour. Let's see. But, okay, I think I have something. Actually, wait, no, I want to change the orientation. Okay. So we'll do something like this. It's something like that, right? This is the perspective I'm establishing in my mind. Let's see. On another unrelated note, I was on the Broken Draw server, and as usual, there was somebody bitching and complaining about how they're extremely frustrated with learning art. And as usual, I made the foolhardy mistake of trying to convince this person that it's better to have a positive outlook on their learning journey, because scientifically speaking, it's literally beneficial for their learning process and their rate of learning as well, apart from just having a good growth-oriented mindset in general. And as expected, I got a response which essentially completely dismissed what I said and continued to explain why they specifically were so special and how they specifically, like how I would not be able to understand how difficult it is for them and along that sort. I'm so fucking tired, bro. I'm so tired of helping or even trying to be a positive beacon of hope and happiness as I always have been on these fuckers. I'm so tired. I'm so goddamn tired. It's like why do beginner artists, especially artists, why do artists always fucking complain and cry? I get it, okay? The art is a very visceral skill. I understand. You put your pen to paper, therefore it's a reflection of who you are. Except no, it's not. It's just a reflection of your current ability, right? So it's just I don't know. I'm just so tired of trying to help people who so clearly don't want to be helped. Right? Am I Jesus? I might as well be. Oh, also, and somebody actually pointed out in my comment on one of my videos, in my comment on one of my videos, what the fuck, in a comment on one of my videos, it pointed out that I have a tendency to flick the pen or like readjust every time I make a line. So now that I'm conscious of it, I'm gonna do my best to not do that. The reason I do that, or the reason I did that, I believe, is because I'm always readjusting to make for the right angle for the pen. But the thing is, that should only be done if necessary, right? I feel as if it doesn't make sense to do it if it doesn't actually have any merit. I'm trying to think. Let's see. This, I actually can't change the perspective of this. Didn't mean to. Ended up converging drastically. What do I want to do with this shape? Plane changes. As we've understood, plane changes are the main cause of happiness. So how would a plane change here occur? This is where I have to think, right? This is the fun part where I have to think. Okay. And that should be the center. If I'm going to do a diagonal, because the diagonal seems to be what I'm doing right now. Yeah, that's like the center right there. I'm still trying to figure out whether an angular plane change or a more rounded plane change like this one here is appropriate. Still trying to figure it out. This is the thing. The thing with multiple rounding is there's a whole series of internal logic, multiple logices that you have to understand amongst yourself, along with obviously having to spatially reason, right? Actually, but if this is in this way, how would that even make sense? Would it just be a diagonal? It would be just a diagonal. let me think about this. So what am I doing exactly? Okay, well, let's try to visualize to the best of my ability the line that I need, right? Oof, that's difficult. This one right here, because there's so much shit here. It's difficult to visualize that line. And that's the most difficult part is it's never going to be completely accurate. But if I can just ghost the shit out of it, maybe we'll have some semblance of confidence in our ability to shine. Right, so something like this? Something like that? I don't know. Does this curve is the question? Or am I just... I guess it's just a point. But then now we have to think, of course, because it's all about thinking, on how that would affect this curve, this rounding here. Right, because it's facing this way now. Damn, this is difficult. Which is good, don't get me wrong. This is really good that it's difficult, but I'm just fucking grinding my brain right now trying to figure this out. Right? Because usually it would just be a simple matter of... Well, actually, nothing changes here. In terms of the perspective. This is still all in perspective. Okay, so we got that sorted. So is it just like this? Doesn't make any sense, except it just might. What the fuck? I don't even know what I made. Okay, but then how would it look like on the other end? I think I have to visualize that now. I wanted to do plane changes, and I wanted to make them make sense. This is very difficult. Genuinely very difficult. Right? So what would it look like on the opposite end? Because if we just have, okay, so is it something like this? Okay, well, I'm gonna obviously rotate and memorize this, and then... Ah, fuck, I forgot to get sticky notes. I keep fucking forgetting to get sticky notes. Okay. Yes, I do draw very slow, actually. Damn, it's already been 8 minutes, and it's just been me trying to figure this shit out. But I'm glad. I'm glad I take my time. I'm constantly trying to understand, right? I'm not just fucking noodling about. I'm trying to think how it would make sense if it was rotated. How would it make sense if it was rotated? Because this is following this plane, then it's diagonal. I'm assuming there is a... Is there a rounding that's happening there? I don't know. Let me try to think. Right, I'm just trying to think out loud right now. Ooh, that's difficult. I'm just gonna ignore this in the sense that I'm just gonna try not to look at it, but I'm just trying to think. Cause let's see, if it's like a... Okay, if it's this, I'm trying to do the top half, but we're gonna try to do it from the other side over, right? So if it's like that, right? How is a rounding occurring? Is it a giant one? I don't think a rounding can occur if it's diagonal like this, and I haven't already accounted for it, right? technically this should probably be, if this was curved like that, that'd be a lot easier actually, because then I can do something like, okay, if that's what it is, if I curved it now, then I got something like, okay, let me just first make the perspective of this, right? This is the box, envisioning, it's fucking wonky as shit in my head right now. And then, it's right here, right? Because that is where it comes out. So that point. Be something like this. Would it be something like that? Right? And then I can just, okay, if that's the diagonal, wait. Jesus. Can't have it be fucking retarded. Hold up. Perspective. Ooh, this is hurting my brain. This is good. This is amazing. Also, it's way too big, I know, but this is good. It's hurting my brain. I guess this is my perspective that I'm establishing. I know proportions are off, but right? If that's what is happening, what is the? I think I fucked up the perspective definitely, because now it's kind of top down, and let's just say we see this side a little. Right? Something like this. So what happened here? If I am rotating it, I'm trying to think what happens if I rotate this. On the other side, that's so fucking hard to think about. Holy shit! This is what I'm looking at right over here. What does this look like from this angle? Let's try to think. Oof, that's fucking hard. That's very difficult. But I'm just trying to think about that. Holy shit, that is so hard to think about. This is the part, right? This is the part where my brain is experiencing extreme friction and resistance. This is where you push through. And this is where you keep trying to think about it, right? This is the quote unquote slow. I don't know why I'm quoting. Why the fuck do I quote for everything? This is the slow part of art, right? This is the part where, you see on Instagram, whatever, the hyper sped up, like, I'm just fucking drawing at 10 times the speed. This is the part you're not seeing, where they're just thinking. And they're thinking for quite some time, and they just edit it out, right? I do not edit it out. I am here to give you the raw, emphasis on the raw, unfiltered drawing session. Anyways, this is really difficult. Oh, I think I know where I fucked it up. No, wait. Okay, so plane. This is this right here. So, okay, we have this plane. Oh, it's okay. So this plane right here, like this one, is supposed to be on this side, right? But I didn't do that. So really, the only option I have left is to do something like this, where it's something like that, I guess. I think I messed up the perspective, to be honest, because it's very difficult. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start with diagonals, because that way I can keep the perspective in mind. If I start with diagonals, that means my perspective application has to be even stronger, right? Yeah, this makes 0 sense. The idea was there. The application was not. So, again, I have to start with the perspective knowledge. Or sorry, start with the diagonal in order to bolster my perspective knowledge. I'm going to rest my brain. These two things probably did not seem like they were a lot, but for me it was very difficult, which is good. So, yeah, I'm going to rest my brain. And please, I encourage you to do so as well. Damn, yeah, multiple rounding is very difficult. Multiple rounding is extremely difficult. Well, I'm making it even more unnecessarily difficult than it needs to be, which is the best part. So let's try again. Let's do another diagonal, right? This way I can really, really, really force myself to think about what works and what doesn't. So let's do... If I do something like this, how will that look? Right. Will that even make sense? No, it will not, but I've committed, so I must follow through. The best part about this is the fact that it's literally all just experimentation, right? I can experiment and make many, many, many mistakes. That's where I grow. That's where I know. Okay, but how does that work here? Did that even make sense? No, because none of this made sense, actually. Yeah, none of that made sense. We're just going to end it here. Which is good. I know that it didn't make sense now, right? So let's try again. And diagonals are tricky business, right? And I'm actually really glad that commenter, Sor Chromo, is one of the people that was on my stream this past Monday. I'm glad that because he posted on the Broken Draw Discord, how do I get better at lines with brush pen? I gave him, as usual, I gave a very extensive reply, and then I shilled my content. I gave one of my drawing because I'm garbage, part 39 or some shit like that, part 38. The thumbnail was, the art community is very kind. That is why I will take advantage of every single one of you. I love that shit. That shit made me laugh so hard. Much to the dismay and eyes being rolled of my girlfriend. She was like, how can you be so mean to your fans? And I said, because I barely have fans. They hate me as much as I hate them. Please give me money. So Yeah, he pointed it out. He's like, this little flick that you do. Actually, no, he didn't comment on that. He commented on my latest one that came out today. uh, I don't know, it was the fundamentals one because I've been grinding it. But he pointed out like every time I make a line, right, and then I'll adjust and then I'll make another line. And I'm like, that's not the best habit to have because I'm not training my hand to be stable and to accommodate and to create a steady line, right? It doesn't need to adjust every time. And now that I'm aware of it, I realize I really don't need to adjust that much. So thank you, Sorchromo. I appreciate you. Okay, let's try this. Okay, just thinking about this right now. Okay, I think I got it. Right. This is basically again, it's experimentation in the sense that I'm just trying to figure out what extent these diagonals can even exist, right? And under what logic do they follow the rounding in? You know? I think I'm slowly starting to understand. Because this is multiple rounding and it makes sense, right? But now, if I do something like this, right? Will that... Okay, shit, that's not what I was going for. I fucked it up again, which is good. See, I'm trying to refrain from my language being negative. I said, oh no, shit, but then I was like, wait, this is good. This mistake was good. That means I didn't visualize as consistently as I could have. Or maybe this is an opportunity to to fix a mistake, perhaps. Okay, because that is diagonal. I believe that is diagonal. So what happens when it's like this? Does this make sense? I know the curvings aren't the best. Something like this? Perspective is off. Proportions are off, right? This actually should have been a bit further back. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep trying to figure this out, right? Because again, if I have something that's like this, right? Okay, we have our rounding, we have it established. That's nice. But what if it wants to suddenly do a diagonal, right? What if I suddenly want to do this? Then it would turn and it would meet like so, would it not? And again, this would be perspective, would it not? Right? And then we could, okay, hold up, should think. We can have something like that. It's like, okay, that looks a bit awkward, of course, but I was trying to make sure that they'd be following the perspective, but this ended up becoming a bit awkward looking because this is too thick, maybe. But I feel as if that makes sense to me. Like the orientation changes, I feel as if I'm definitely understanding a bit better. which is important, right? So again, we have plane change or rounding like this, right? That. Okay. So we have a rounding like this. And let's say it's a very close rounding, right? But then, because this is the perspective I've established, right, let's just say we want to make it go slightly diagonal. Like that. Right. Wouldn't it make sense to... Would something like this not make sense? Right? And then you just finish the perspective. I think this is all starting to come together right now over me. Anyways, but let's do something more complex, right? I want to do something more complex. I want to rotate it, and then I'm gonna rest my brain, because that is how we do. I need to start getting used to the habit of creating complex, just complexity. So let's try something like... Again, I really think, big thank you to SoChroma for pointing out the flaws in my penmanship, because I realized I don't need to fucking hold my, like, keep flicking my pen over and over and over and over in order to achieve just appropriate line work. Look at this. I feel so much more confident. It's actually amazing. Thank you, SoChroma. Wherever you are, whoever you are, you're on the Discord server and you're a man. But let's see. Okay. I'm trying to think. How can this be done? Okay, so something like that. So there you go. Now we can have the change. It's all coming together now. Good old Kronk. Right. Again, that curves over. Curved it a bit too much there. There you go. Right? But I'm not done yet. That is decent, but you may notice there are no diagonals. And without diagonals, can we really fuck our brains truly? Right? So, what can I do? What can I do to really make this fucky? Oh, I know. Okay, but for this I need a really good understanding of perspective, because I'm gonna do 2 plane changes at once. What? How can that be, you may ask? Well, doobie doobie dee, I respond. Okay, and then so we got that, and then it moves over. So it's something like this. See, I committed to that because I want it to be a mistake. Because if it is a mistake, I learn. If it isn't a mistake, I reinforce. There is no losing whatsoever. Same thing here. I basically, what I did is I went diagonal and then I moved it across. So same thing here, diagonal and move it across. Let's see, diagonal, right, diagonal, moved it across, diagonal, moved it across. Okay. That could be a mistake, actually. That's okay. See, I did the little flicky thing right there. The readjustment of my pen. My pen. Oof. Okay. And then we could do... Okay, yeah. Something like that, right? 'Cause I don't think we see this side. Yeah, it's more that way, but we see this side. Right? And here we have perspective. Okay, how's that gonna look? Because I kind of turned it upside down, right? So what is that? Oh, that's like this, okay. There you go. Is that accurate? Maybe. Maybe. But it's not about accuracy. It's about vibes. Right. That. And that would be straight. Curving around. Cool. What a complicated shape I've drawn. And now we have to memorize this. So I give myself 20 seconds to analyze, understand, stain, and then replicate. Basically what I did, yeah. I think that makes sense. This actually could have been a bit more, yeah, this could have been angled further down here, so the curve would have been more pronounced. But still, the fact that I'm able to draw something like this is pretty cool. But I just got to analyze this now, so let's see. This is what really creates it, right? This right here. So if I were to draw this from a different perspective, so that was the perspective I created, and then I went sideways, and then okay. So if I were to draw this from a different perspective, okay. I'm going to attempt this again. I'm going to bring my little fucking, I guess, little sheet to block it. Right. Fuck, that's not even working. No, there you go. Alright, my little warm-up practice. But now I'm going to attempt to recreate it. This is gonna be difficult. Because it's difficult. Because I have to fucking rotate a bunch of goddamn complex shapes and roundings and think ahead. Right? There's a bunch of shit I have to do beforehand. But let's see. Okay, so that's the perspective I've established. I'll go outward. And then something like this. So yeah, let me try that again. This perspective I established, go outward. Oh, and then something like this, actually. I know the fucking change makes no sense to those watching, but hopefully it will once I'm basically going along. What the fuck? What is this plane? Like this plane diagonally, right? Like that. And then I'm going along this plane, this right here, that you can't really see yet. So yeah, it's diagonal, and back all this way, and then a little bit back. And the question is, whether I can do it justice, right? The answer will almost always be, probably not. But that's where we'll see, right? Because then again, we bring it back here. So what happens here? Is it just turning? Doesn't really make too much sense. I'm pretty sure I fucked up the orientation here. Something like that, right? See the bottom of it. This one too is gonna be the same thing, but I made that too thick, but even so. See, something like that. And then what the fuck does this look like on this end? Because that's what it's connected to, right? Something like that. I don't think that's accurate. I'm like drawing over it now because I don't even know. Oh, shit, too short. Oof, that is super difficult. Let's see. Yeah, I've definitely messed that back part up. Something like that. And then we have this, which is, again, I'm gonna do that, then move it outward, so it's actually a bit further out. See, lines have a lot of shoddiness to them. That's the thing, right? Like now we see that angle. And then it's gonna come forth here. Bro, I don't know what the fuck I did. I have no idea what this is anymore. And it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger. Okay, that was very difficult. Yeah, that was super difficult. God damn, I don't know how I rotated it. I'm gonna have to analyze this. Let me rest my brain. This is very, very difficult. That's the thing, it doesn't look like much either, but it's because it doesn't look like much that it's so good for you. Let me rest my brain. Goodbye. God damn, and at least I know I'm genuinely making a fucking effort. Let's try to think about what went right and what went wrong. What went right? Absolutely nothing. What went wrong? Absolutely everything. Okay, good. We're making money moves, as they say. Yeah, this just in general was not working, and I made everything too big, which is fine, proportion-wise, that you've tried to figure that out, right? But okay, so I completely forgot about this, right? So that's a huge issue right there. This is a completely different shape than this. So that's a big fuck up right there. I can't believe I just took that in. So this is vertical and this is horizontal. I made the top vertical and then attached to it, or I made the top horizontal and attached to it vertical. So there's a fuck up right there. I mean, if that was incorrect, then basically everything else was incorrect. Because it was all based off of that, right? Okay, well, we'll try again. We'll try again with an equally convoluted shape that will make me struggle, right? So, let's see. Yeah, you might be wondering why I'm doing such excessive rounding, because really they just want you to round a box. But I can round a box. I can multiple round many boxes. This was just the first step. The first step is just getting this down. The second step is re-adding the skeleton back, like, or re-adding the frame back to it, right? So if I were to take, I don't know, this box, and then I was suddenly to multiple around something like this, right? Now, and then it's attached like so, right? Now it's like, okay, we have multiple rounding, and then we have a single rounding attached to it. You know, that makes it much more unique, right? Because we have something like this. So that's how hard surface is created, or hard surface like shapes are created. But this is the point, is to push to absolutely to the limit of the one skill we're focused on, right? Just min-max that shit before moving on. Because I can single round now, I can single round decently, right? Because I spent so much time practicing, and obviously this is, what a fucking horrendous example. We're gonna try that again. I can single round now, I can single round decently, right? Because I spent so much time practicing on it. Okay, apparently I can't single round. One more time. I can single round now. I can single round decently, right? Especially after all the time that I spent practicing it. Right? Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. What a fucking. Okay, so now we know the issue isn't the single rounding. It's this. I can't do this. This angle is very difficult for me. Okay, so I just need to practice drawing single roundings in this orientation. Well, look at that, I practiced and I was already able to do it slightly better. There you go. Okay, so it's not a lack of understanding or a lack of even application. It's a lack of application in the sense that the particular grip and angle of the pen and the direction in which I push the line is there's not a strong motor connection in my body yet, right? But with practice, clearly it can be. So there you go. All right, let's just one more time. I know this isn't even supposed to be what I'm supposed to be doing, but this isn't even supposed to be what I'm supposed to be doing. Genius vernacular. Okay, that was a struggle. Let's try that again. Yeah, that was a bit better. Okay, one more. Okay, one more. This is just one last one. Like, give me this. There you go. There you go. That's not bad. That one wasn't bad. Okay, anyways, let's go back to multiple rounding. Jesus. But I want to obviously finish this page because I don't want to keep it all cluttered or stay on this page. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I just want to finish this page. Much to the dismay of my friend who I'm supposed to play Helldivers with. But let's see. Right, perhaps he can dismay on the floor. Or I can just hack it by making a much larger shape. Okay, and then how do we want to make this? Fucking hair in my mouth? Disgusting. Anyways. But let's see, how do we want to make this? I'm trying to think. I want it to be convoluted, I want plane changes, I want swag. Many of which can be achieved with money. Okay, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Okay, first we're gonna do this. Right. Because I want to, again, continue to practice these diagonals. There we go. That's obviously a mistake. This is obviously overshot. Okay, we'll start off with that. And then we'll go down here. So it's one plane change, another plane change. Right. That was a bit too thin. Then we'll do another one as well. Okay. Thankfully, again, it's about understanding the logic, right? So I do believe I'm starting to understand the logic behind how these roundings operate. It's more just about making sure the logic retains its consistency whilst I draw, right? Whilst I visualize and draw these changes. So it's one plane change, and then we can do okay, I know what to do. Okay. Again, it's like I need to figure out how to mix simplicity with complexity, right? I think that's what makes many artists great, is that they know how to make simple shapes seem complex, even if they really aren't. So it's kind of what Antonio says all the time. Antonio is the founder of artwod. Again, the sole reason that I can draw like how I do is this is their practice. How many fucking times do I have to goddamn shill them, okay? And the thing is, I'll still get retards asking whether artwod is worth it. I'll still get retards asking whether this practice has a purpose. I'll still get retards asking why I say the word retard so much, all right? It's a tick. I just have to say it every time I feel like it. But no, I still get fucking morons who will 100% be like, well, does this really work? You know, is this legitimately gonna make me better? What they're really asking is, do I really have to do all this shit just to draw what I want? The answer is, no. You don't have to do all this shit to draw what you want. You have to do all this shit to draw what you want well, with a vast visual library and a strong foundation, right? You can technically draw what you want right now. It'll just be ass. It'll be absolutely fucking garbage, you know. So learn to love this, because this is your master, your mistress as well. I think that made sense. Anyways, oh, okay. And then I could do something like this. Big, medium, small. I'm just trying to think. What comes out there? Bring it over here. Yeah, it would be around there. Lines are getting better. Some good shit. Okay. And that was a horrible line. This is, when in doubt, don't. Just don't say anything. Don't do anything that could completely fuck up what you've already established, which is skill, supposedly. Okay, so is it something like this? I have to think. It might be like this. This one might be like that. Something like that. Well, this is perspective, so technically it would be like this. Right? God, this angle is gonna be so fucky for me. Yeah. There you go. Cool looking shape, actually. Not bad. Now I just have to memorize it. The fun part, right? So I have. Okay, my battery didn't die. That's amazing. Keeping it on extremely low brightness did make a difference. Unfortunately, my iPad battery is gonna die. Let me close that shit. Okay. So I have to memorize this. So I think I haven't been doing the best to clearly memorize. I've been focusing more on understanding the shapes. So that's difficult too, right? Is I have to create the thing, which takes a lot of energy, effort, and understanding of the skill, right? I have to create the series of complex shapes, attachments, which require a greater understanding and application of multiple rounding. That takes a lot of mental energy, right? But when that has to be divided amongst another attempt or skill, which is memorizing the shape, that's where trouble ensues. And hold up, I forgot to do this. Right. That's where trouble ensues. And this is actually should have been way closer. Like what? Yeah, there you go. Something like that. But that is where, not trouble is the wrong word. That is where the difficulty in application arises, specifically in this context when it comes to drawing from memory. So with all that word vomit aside, I'm just gonna analyze this. Fucking do my best. Okay. Would you? All right, I have analyzed. I actually didn't even look at it. I had to fucking close my eyes to make that retarded noise. I had to be in a state of focus just to do that. So let's see. Okay. So I just need to know that this plane faces that plane. This plane faces each other. Okay, they're all facing each other. I know there's still issues, major issues. Like this should have been a curve, way more curved. I did not curve this at all because I didn't make this big enough. Lots of issues, right? But that's a good thing because I'm glad I can actually start understanding and seeing these issues now, right? So let's see. Okay. I guess it's time to cover it. I need to get new tape. This tape's gonna fucking run out. Jesus, this tape is looking so crusty right now. It's gonna fall off. But let me just look at it for another 5 seconds. Okay, I have to do it now. That's the fun part, right? I tried covering it to the best of my ability. It's probably gonna be a bit smaller, so let me rotate it in my mind. Oh, jeez. I probably should have made more space. Oh, jeez, Rick. Anyways, I should have made it a bit... What's an angle that I can do that wouldn't be so fucky? Because it's like this thing comes down, comes out, and then diagonals. Okay, so I remember the basic plane changes. I think that's the main thing I should focus on, is the plane changes. Right. Here, I don't think I focused on that. I was looking at the type of the shape, but I should have just focused on the plane change. Because think about the type of the shape isn't too difficult right now, to a point, right? So, let's see. I may actually have to draw underneath this to get it down. And I'm okay with that, because that means I can practice my drawings being obstructed. That's okay. We'll get into the practice of our drawings being obstructed, because technically we do have to know how to draw things behind things, in front of things, right? That is actually a very important skill. That's wrong. I keep messing that up, right, but that is definitely a very important skill. Right. This ain't too bad. I'm trying not to rush, of course. I'm just trying to, like, the thing is, again, it's that balance between memorizing, applying, and then applying at a speed which forces you. Like, it's sort of, I'm trying to force myself not to, I guess I made it small enough to fit, whatever. But I'm trying to force myself not to have to stay and think too long, if that makes sense, right? Because frankly, my dear, I need to get good. I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, it's just, I'm trying to make myself have to spend more time doing it while thinking rather than just thinking, you know? Because while thinking is the most important part about drawing, of course, right? If you're able to think a very clear drawing and have the communication between your hand and your mind, okay, that's a bit off. That diagonal is definitely, should have been a bit more to the right. But if my understanding and my thought processes is, if you're able to communicate your thinking and if you're able to expedite the speed in which you're thinking and you're applying is coordinated, then despite the application of line being possibly a little bit more subpar due to the speed, you're still improving your ability to visually communicate faster, right? And that way, like, because you're building that skill, it'll take less effort to do that faster over time, which in turn will allow you to also focus on the lines and still get those crisp lines that you're seeking. I think that makes sense. That's the way I'm thinking about it. At least like every now and then when it comes to drawing from memory, right? You want to find that balance between speed and cocaine. I don't know which one's better, to be honest. This one wasn't too large. And then we had this long. It was very long. Okay, now this I need to get, the center's like right there. There you go. That's something like So you have to think about perspective still. There you go. Make that come around. And there you go. Okay, so it is small, but it is correct. But it is, of course, proportionally incorrect. This is supposed to be much wider. That's actually the main thing. This is just supposed to be much wider. But overall, I did get the shape down, even though the perspective here is inaccurate, right? This diagonal is inaccurate. It's, oh, I forgot to do this. There you go. Okay, well, that could have been a bit better, that line. But yeah, that's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. So my understanding is definitely getting better. And it's been an hour, my friend's gonna fucking bitch at me because I'm late. So, although I don't like leaving these gaps, I genuinely don't. Fuck it, I won't. we'll just do some continuous last minute practice. Let's just get some normal single rounding down, right? Something like, what is it? We could do something like this. Right? Just to fill up that space, honestly. And one day my lines will get better. Do not fret. This is basically where, this isn't even single rounding, really. This is just me kind of showcasing the wireframe that surrounds the single rounding. Sorry, not single rounding, double rounding. This is why I don't fucking put myself as a goddamn educational channel, more as a I'm an educational channel in the sense that you're being educated on how someone becomes amazing at art, but my ability to teach is 50-50. Right? Some of my fans do, so it's still so weird to say fans, but some of the people who watch me do seem to think that I'm pretty decent at teaching. Right? Maybe I'm just okay at explaining myself. Just like God. But yeah, I don't think I'm particularly incredible at explaining my thought process or anything, but yeah, whatever. Oh wait, that that was incorrect. My voice just fucking sucked a bunch of dick. So that was fun. I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore. That's not even correct. That doesn't even make sense. Whatever. There you go. This is technically the wireframe for yeah, that's technically the wireframe, right? Because that is where it all starts. So this is like a good practice where you take a box, a pretty evenly square plane, right? Then you just expand it outward on all corners. So now it's relatively even on all sides, right? And then you just practice doing this. Because that is rounding. It's this, right? Goes over here and goes around here as well, which is why you gotta connect it. It goes around like that. Right, so that is a really good practice, to be honest, for rounding, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's about seeing the box, because if you can see the box in any angle, you can draw in any angle, right? So if I were to see it from the bottom side here, I could do something like, let's say like this. Yeah. Now this isn't, obviously these examples aren't perfect, but this is how you could start single rounding, right? Or sorry, fucking not single rounding, double rounding, Jesus Christ. Yeah, just don't listen to me when I'm saying single rounding or double rounding. I clearly mean one or the other. But this is how it all begins. See? And it's like, oh wow, you once you start being able to see, and the thing is, a lot of people in the artwod Discord have mentioned how difficult this is, and it is very difficult. But like with anything, that was a horrible line. You see how it broke because I'm really bad at that angle. But like with anything, you just get better by doing, right? But not doing passively, by doing actively. You have to vigorously thrust with your mind and see the lines at all times. But I'm not a rapper. Currently, my bars are delegated elsewhere in artistic practices. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I mean, it should make sense. It's pretty fucking straightforward, to be honest. Especially if you just go to artwod, sign up, let them know I sent you, and move on from there. I laugh, but I need the affiliation. All right, job market is horrible, and I'm suffering here. I've been unemployed for months. Right, government assistance can't help forever, or can it? No, it can't. Okay, and I'll just do one more here. Right, we'll just do a basic one. Not super basic, but we'll make it relatively. Let's see. Something like this. That was a bit too drastic. Don't do that. See, that curve was a bit too drastic. Actually, no, it was decent. Never mind. Do exactly what I just did. Also, make sure that your eye is never accurate, so you're always self-doubting everything you do. Okay, see, that was not bad. And then again, we can just do a diagonal that goes like this. Right? This was pretty simple. This is what I did last time. Right? But again, it requires a little bit of something like that. I love how I called it simple, and then I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? Could have been curved a bit more. Okay, whatever. Something like that, I guess. But we're gonna call it there. The point is, even though I wasn't thinking much about this at all, think about just how for those of you who actually did watch or listen along, or the very few people who did, this was much more difficult just a couple hours ago. Like this, ignore the internal part, because I didn't do that until yesterday, like the last episode or whatever the fuck. But 2 episodes ago, this was extremely difficult. This was so fucking, I was struggling thinking about that. But now, I'm half-assedly thinking, not really thinking at all, and I'm able to replicate something somewhat accurately, similarly, and decently. That's right. I hope that shook you awake. But I hope you had fun drawing. I hope you had a good time. All that good shit, right? I hope you drew along, and I hope you challenged yourself, much like I did, right? Aneurysms are the way forward when it comes to learning any skill. So with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money. Thank you.